Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start the session with a nice quote. What is today's quote? Today's quote is, if you know your problem, half the problem is solved. Give me a second. Yes. So, what is today's quote? If you know your problem, half the problem is solved. Actual quote is, if you know your enemy, half the battle is won. If you know your enemy, half the battle is won. I've changed that. If you know your problem, half the problem is solved. When it comes to any competitive exam, when you start your preparation, you have to think of your strength and your weakness. You have to work on your strength and get it consolidated, and you have to work on your weakness, and you should not leave any stone unturned. Then the chances are very bright to get the selection. Looks like we have a technical problem. Before I go to today's editorial analysis, yesterday, I don't know how many of you watched. I have another channel, though I launched last year, I did not touch. Only yesterday, there was a video. The name of the channel is Murthy's IAS. And many of you, I'm sure, preparing for bank exams, and you all know when it comes to the mains descriptive paper. So this video is all about, though it says essay paper, why can't you write an effective essay? It is useful for those who have to write the descriptive paper. And it is all about the 10 problems you may have. Please watch the video. And next video, I'm going to talk about the solutions. This goes with those who have the regional language background. Now let us go to the today's editorial is all about, now it works. Today's editorial is all about India's mission to study the sun. Not too many words, so I haven't brought the slides that go with editorial vocabulary. While doing the analysis, important words I'm going to tell the meanings. And today also the practice questions based on exam topics, quite challenging, new patterns and useful. So how does the editorial start? Onward, sunward. Onward means a forward movement. Onward means what? Forward movement. Sunward, towards the sun. And what is this about? On India's mission to study the sun. The main objective for writing this, on India's mission to study the sun. But what is the main idea behind? Aditya L1 gives the Indian space program one more boundary to push. They can go to the next level. That's what it means. Roughly a week after the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO soft landed a robotic lander and rover on the moon's South Pole region, it launched India's first space mission dedicated to studying the sun in the form of a spacecraft named Aditya L1. So recently we have celebrated what? Launching, reaching the moon, launching a lander, a robotic lander and rover on the moon's south polar region. And a week, roughly a week, not exactly a week, roughly a week after that greatest accomplishment, ISRO launched India's first space mission dedicated to studying the sun in the form of spacecraft named Aditya L1. Easy to understand. Then it talks about, there's no editorial vocabulary here. Barely half a day. Whenever you come across words like hardly, scarcely, barely, tell me what is the word you have to think of. Combination word, exam point of view, very important. And the third one here, hardly, scarcely, barely. We have to use the word when. And if you take no sooner, we have to use the word than. And all these are negative words. When we start a sentence, we have to use the clause in the interrogative form. But here there is a phrase. Barely half a day after the launch, ISRO announced that its lunar rover had completed the surface studies. Announced, it's a reporting verb here, it is in the past. Based on that, they must have said lunar rover has completed, changes to had completed the surface studies it had planned, twice past perfect, and it had been again past perfect, parked ahead of the 2 week long lunar night. I have come across for the first time a sentence with past perfect in all the three clauses. Three clauses, in all the three clauses, past perfect has been used. This is a strange sentence pattern. Usually we don't come across. But what does it say? Not even half a day after the launch, ISRO announced that its lunar rover had completed the surface studies it had planned and that it had been parked ahead of the 2 week long lunar night. It talks about the lunar rover. This usually we say vignette, but actually G is silent. Illustrates. There are two important words here. Let us see the meanings, then I will continue with the sentence. A vignette, usual pronunciation in our country, but the letter G is silent. A brief evocative description, account, or episode. Evocative. Evoke means something comes to your mind. Description, account, or episode. What is the other word? Illustrate. An easy one, but it has two different meanings. One meaning, if you take a magazine, we say there are illustrations in the magazine. Means what? Either drawings or pictures, usually drawings. But the other meaning in this context, serve as an example of. Illustrate means serve, be an example, serve as an example of. This vignette illustrates a certain maturity on the part of the Indian space program. What is that maturity? It enters a phase where its growth from strength to strength becomes indistinguishable. Actually, this is a negative word, distinguishable. You can differentiate. What is the meaning of distinguishable? Something you can differentiate or identify as distinct. But why the negative word here? That means they have been achieving strength to strength. Then it becomes like a pattern. They all stand at the same level. It enters a phase where its growth from strength to strength becomes indistinguishable. It is not, they have been achieving a lot. So it is they are going in a pattern. They are not distinct. From international leadership in space exploration, even as it carries forward present tense, an old tradition, custom of studying the sun, exemplified by the Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. In Kodaikanal, there is a solar observatory, and this talks about the space program. If you look at growing from strength to strength, it becomes not conspicuous because they have been achieving a lot from international leadership in space exploration. Even as it carries forward an old tradition of studying the sun. Where is this on what basis they say carrying forward an old tradition of studying the sun? Exemplified means what? Be a typical example of by the Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. There also they have been studying. That's what it means. Aditya L1 will study future tense, the sun, in multiple wavelengths with its suite of 7 instruments. For remote sensing, what are those instruments? How will it study or what will it do? It will study the sun in multiple wavelengths with its suite of 7 instruments. For remote sensing and 3 in situ. That's an important expression. It means meaning has been given, that is by directly sampling a particular volume of space, not in the lab, in the field. Even though it is the star closest to the earth, you all know we have this solar system. And what is the star we belong to? The sun. Even though it is the star closest to the earth and has been and continues to be observed by a panoply of telescopes. even though usually it goes with a contrasting information. It is a star closest to the Earth and has been present perfect, here present tense, and continues to be present tense, observed, to be observed, continues to be observed, it is in passive voice, by a panoply of telescopes. What is the meaning? This word we have got for the first time. An extensive or impressive collection. Another meaning, to display something that impresses you. Panoply of telescopes. The sun still holds, again present tense, many secrets. It holds many secrets, a lot of secrets. Some of them are simply waiting to be discovered. Again, passive voice. Although that is easier said than done. This is an important expression. Sometimes what happens, we say something and, yes, I'll be doing a technical issue, so please wait for a few days. I'll talk about that later. Waiting to be discovered. Although it is easier said than done, this is an important expression you have to remember. What does it mean? Sometimes we say something like coming to this e-magazine. I said I would launch on September 1st, but because of some technical issues, the shortage of manpower, it got delayed. So easier said than done means what? Certain things are easy to say but difficult to implement. Given the why is it easier said than done? Given the brutality of the star's influence on its immediate surroundings. What is a star here? We are talking about the sun. Brutality usually goes with crime, meaning savage physical violence, great cruelty. But here you have to understand brutality of the star means the sun's influence, means severe impact of the sun. It is not something very simple or easy to go close the sun. The impact is going to be negative. Brutality of the star's influence on its immediate surroundings. Meaning changes based on the context. One example is the particulars of the solar wind. To justify that statement, one example is the particulars of the solar wind, a stream of charged particles that stream out from the sun into space. They come from the sun and they go into or stream out from the sun into space. Considering the solar wind affects space weather and in turn the digital components of spacecraft, Aditya L1's findings could inform future space missions as well. This particular charged particles may make an impact on the surroundings. That's what the sentence is. Considering the solar wind affects space weather and in turn the digital components of spacecraft, obviously it is going to affect space weather, one thing, whatever comes from the sun. And when Aditya L1 goes close to the sun, Aditya L1's findings could inform components of the spacecraft, it may make an impact. And findings, whatever Aditya L1 finds, the findings could inform future space missions as well. Others are mysteries. Certain things we know, certain things we don't know. Whatever we don't know, we use the word mystery. Others are mysteries, bundles of facts not yet fully explained by scientific theories. A lot of facts are there related to the star, the sun, but no scientific theories, not explained by scientific theories. Yet we have got so many times. The archetypal, we have got this for the first time. What does it mean? Very typical of a certain kind of person or thing. Very typical, typical means average of a certain kind of person or thing. Archetypal example is a coronal heating problem. Why the uppermost layer of the sun's atmosphere is 1,000 times hotter than the sun's surface. If you take the sun, there are so many layers, and here it talks about that. Why the uppermost layer of the sun's atmosphere is 1,000 times hotter than the sun's surface. We have to find out. In the next 4 or so months, Aditya L1 will travel, future tense, to the L1 Lagrange point. There is a point, Lagrange point, a point 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth, where the spacecraft will have an unobstructed view of the star, means the sun, while it stays in a halo orbit around the point. It talks about where Aditya L1 it will travel to which particular point, Lagrange point. What is this point? Where is it? A point 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth, where the spacecraft will have an unobstructed view of the Sun while it stays in a halo orbit around the point. To deepen its relevance, Aditya L1 will also have to record. Again, future will also have to record and transmit data to Earth as quickly as possible. It has to do it immediately. Why? Where the data downlink and analysis pipeline will have to operate with similar haste. Haste is actually a negative word. In this context, it talks about something positive. Do something quickly. There are two dimensions here. Data transmission should be done as quickly as possible, and also the data downlink and analysis pipeline will have to operate with similar haste so that scientists can piece together a concurrent image of the sun. If it is done quickly, they get a concurrent image of the sun. Concurrent means what? Existing, happening, or done at the same time. Otherwise, they cannot get because it makes a severe negative impact. ISRO has also demonstrated. Demonstrate means what? Clearly show the existence or truth of something by giving proof or evidence. Usually it goes with marketing guys. When marketing guys come with a gadget, they try to demonstrate the features. And this goes with science, the field of science or the realm of science. ISRO has also demonstrated its ability to handle complex navigational tasks in interplanetary missions. Now we are talking about interplanetary. Here you have to recollect one is intra, the other one is inter. What is the difference? Intra means within, inter means between. Intraplanetary missions, including the Lunar Space Program Chandrayaan, with help from foreign space agencies and the attendant skills, related skills, will be brought to bear on Aditya L1 as well. So it's all about how they're going to handle what they're going to study, and with help from foreign space agencies, and the attendant skills will be brought to bear on Aditya L1. Taken together, while Aditya L1 seems relatively simple given ISRO's recent achievements, at the outset, it looks like it's a simple thing. This particular project, Aditya L1, seems relatively simple. Why? Given ISRO's recent achievements, it gives the Indian space program and the national solar physics community one more boundary to push, one more challenge. That's how the editorial ends, I suppose. Yes. A bit difficult to understand in the sense, not exactly from comprehension point of view, but scientific background. Some sort of background is required. Foreign, who is this? Xenophobia. So you have to read once, twice. You need some background information. Only then you can understand. I've done the analysis purely from language point of view. I haven't touched the science behind and the technical aspects behind. It goes with I'm not the right person and this is not the right platform. I can do that, but this is not the platform. This platform is only to focus on the language based on the editorial, and you have to understand all these. You have to read twice, thrice. A bit of background information is required. Let us look at the questions based on this editorial to improve your reading comprehension skill. What is the name of India's first space mission dedicated to studying the sun? Easy to answer, I suppose. What are the key objectives of the Aditya L1 spacecraft? Easy to answer. What is the L1 Lagrange point and why is it important for the Aditya L1 mission? How does the solar wind impact space weather and spacecraft? There are two dimensions impacting the space weather, impacting the spacecraft. What is the coronal heating problem and why is it a mystery in solar science? What is the significance or importance of Aditya L1's ability to record and transmit data quickly? All you can answer based on explicit information. Today, it's a short editorial. Usually, I take 30 minutes. Now it is only 19 minutes. I think for the first time I have done the analysis very short time. The reason for that, it's a short editorial and also purely based on science. It is difficult to explain everything on this platform. Let us go to easy questions. Nagesh, you are right. Let us go to practice questions based on error location. Read the first one and try to spot the error. The buzz, I will explain, I'll tell the meaning later. The buzz at the party was that a famous film star and politician would probably drop by for a while. Which part has an error? Oh, Naidu Paidi within no time. Pandu also. The buzz at the party. Buzz means something that is happening and something that everyone talks about. Buzz. There's one combination I want you guys to know. Buzzword. Some words become very popular at a particular time. All the people use the same word. It becomes like a trend. Then we call that word the buzzword. The buzzword is something. So the buzz means the news in this context. At the party was that a famous film star and politician. The buzz at the party, nothing wrong. Was that a famous film star and politician? Here we have would, so was, nothing wrong, past context. Probable drop by for a while a phrase, no problem. But here we cannot use probable theory. Probable means adjective. Here we have to use the adverbial form. What is the adverbial form of that word? Probably. Probably drop by. Answer is, question is based on word form. Word form. Probable is not correct. We should use probably. Many students have got it right. Wonderful. I appreciate. Go to question number 2, a lengthy sentence. The opposition have disrupted proceedings in both houses of parliament for the second consecutive day about the plight of farmers in the country. What is that question? Should we use article before what? Politician. Based on the context talks about a particular politician, then you have to use which politician. Perhaps the sentence refers to a particular politician, then we should. Here you don't have to go beyond the first part. What is the reason? Subject is what? The opposition. And opposition used as a collective noun. Collective nouns usually take a singular verb. But you should also recollect, if the sentence expresses division, then collective nouns take a plural verb, plural pronoun. But here there is no division. The sentence does not talk about any division. Based on that, the opposition has disrupted. Question is about subject, verb, agreement. We have to use a singular verb. Go to question number 3. Despite the merger, the airline has reported sizable losses and is unable to pay their employees. Very good, Nagesh. I appreciate. What are the important collective nouns from the exam point of view? Committee, jury, team, staff, family. Here you got opposition. India has won the match. Please go to question number 3. Tell me where is the error. No one has responded this one. So long. Despite the merger, usually they use of, which is a common error, but here you don't see that. There is no problem. Despite the merger, the airline, what is the subject here? The airline, that is singular. Based on that singular verb, no problem. The airline has reported present perfect tense. Reported what? Sizable losses. Again, here you have to be a little careful. Lose is a verb. Loss is a noun, and lose is an adjective. They have given many a time under pressure, a bit difficult to handle. Sizable losses, profits, losses, nothing wrong. And noun, don't use apostrophe. Who is that? Bala Srinivasa Reddy. No, it is without apostrophe. That's an important rule. If you use it's with an apostrophe, it is a short form of either it is or it has. But whenever you talk about a possessive pronoun, there's an important rule. What is that rule? Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. Common error when it comes to letter writing, a lot of those are good at English also. They close a letter this way. Your apostrophe, yes, truly, wrong. If you make this mistake in letter writing, you lose straight away 2 marks. And this question is about subject pronoun agreement. That's an important dimension they have given many a time. Go to question number 4. We have recently began the process of recruiting insurance agents for our northeastern branches. Huh. Yours faithfully, yours obediently, without an apostrophe. Please go to how Sham, very good, within no time. What is the verb we have? Put the adverb in brackets. We have the sentences in present perfect. Any perfect tense, we have to use a verb in the past participle form. What is the verb here? Begin. What is the past form? Began. And what is the past participle? Begun. Here we have to use the not the past form, the past participle. Based on that, we have recently begun. Under pressure, not that easy. So, what is this question about? This is again a word form, and to be very specific, a verb form. Which form are we supposed to use? Because it is a perfect tense, any perfect tense we have to use past participle form. I hope you guys got it. Let us go to question number 5. The company's decision to issue bonus shares clearly indicates the management's confident about the future. Suresh, very good. Have plus past participle. Nagesh, yes, that is over. Please go to question number 5. Sham, again, first one within no time. The company's decision, nothing wrong. To issue bonus shares, nothing wrong. Clearly, adverb indicates the management's no problem. Here, confident is an adjective. We cannot use the adjective form. We have to use the adverb noun form. Manage indicates what? Management's confidence about the future. Because they have the confidence, they have decided to issue the bonus shares to the employees. And what is this question? Confident adjective, confidence noun. This question is also about word form. Answer my question, what is the opposite of confident? Then you know the opposite of confidence. What is the opposite of confident? Answer is diffident. Confident opposite diffident. Confidence opposite diffidence. Adjective form, confident person. He has a lot of confidence. Noun form. First, you listen to me. Last week also I brought, here you have 3 blanks, 3 words. You have to look at the options very carefully. Correct words, right order. Correct words, wrong order. Incorrect words, one incorrect word. You have to be very careful, and only then you can answer. For the past 40 or so years, economists, central bankers, and other have gathered against backdrop of Wyoming Teton Mountains every August in order to, over the great monetary challenges of the day, no one has responded. You got to be a little careful. Correct words, wrong order. Siddharth Thapa, Thapa, you are there. Correct words, wrong order. Let others also respond. Shravani also says B, and Nagesh says D. Vijaya Bharati says D. Here, chew, don't take the literal meaning, chewing gum. No. It means to go through, to analyze, to understand. For the past 40 or so years, economists, central bankers, and other eminences, what is the first word here? Eminences means eminent people, gathered against the imposing backdrop. Generally, we say imposing building, imposing structure. So, what is the second one? Of Wyoming's Teton Mountains every August in order to chew over the great monetary challenges of the day. Generally, the word chew, chewing gum, that's a different meaning, usual primary meaning. But here it means to understand, to spend time, to discuss, to analyze. Based on that correct words, wrong order. Tapa, first one to respond, got it right. And those who have written B, that is the answer. Let us go to question number 2. Not this year. The Economist went to press of the Jackson Hole Symposium, organized by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, were online to COVID-19. This is a bit difficult because of the context. Some students say A, some students say B, but majority A. Here, not this year. As the Economist went to press the means emphasize or highlight the proceedings. Went to press the proceedings means highlight the proceedings of the Jackson Hole Symposium. Nothing wrong. Organized by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, were unfolding online. Nothing wrong. Why? Thanks to COVID 19. 3. What is the answer? Correct words, right order. Unfamiliar context, not easy under pressure. Do remember. Those tuning in are all too aware of the economic damage by the pandemic. But the headaches are only beginning. As one of the papers due to be presented at the conference explains, COVID 19 is likely to reshape people's beliefs about the world in ways that will complicate the already task of restoring economies to health. This is again a bit difficult, but top, who is it? Suresh says third option. Oh, B, second option. Correct words, wrong order. Let others also, many students say B. What is the first one here? Economic damage wrought by means what? Make wrought means to make a negative impact. Damage cause, already damage is there, caused by the pandemic, wrought by the pandemic. One. But the headaches are only beginning. As one of the papers due to be presented at the conference explains, COVID-19 is likely to reshape people's beliefs about the world in ways that will complicate the already restoring beleaguered task or daunting task. Here we have to use Already daunting task of restoring beleaguered economies to health. Here, second, second word is what? Third word you have to use second blank, and here you have to use a second word. That means what? Wreak havoc you have to. Daunting, formidable, intimidating, very good. Answer is what? Correct words, wrong order. I think you guys got it right. Wonderful. Go to question number 4. Question number 4. That a severe economic shock might do long run damage is not new. Since the Depression, macroeconomics have understood that deep might tip an economy into a liquidity trap in which interest rates fall to zero and monetary policy cannot easily provide a kick. You all have the same wavelength. I think about 5 to 6 students have answered, and only one says B. All others say now more than Madhav. Okay, Thapa says B. Who is this? Pawan Kumar says D. Wonderful, Pawan. I appreciate that. Answer is a D, but he has deleted that message. Why is it one incorrect word? Here, the notions is not correct. What is the reason? We have a singular verb. The notion, here we have to use the word, the notion that a severe economic shock might do long run damage is not new. The notion is not new. We need the subject in the singular form. But what is the word here? Notions. Not correct. Answer is a D, one incorrect word. Except Pawan, others haven't got that. These are not that easy. You got to, I'm not giving enough time here, but do remember, still you got 3 correct, 1 you could not. In the exam, don't be hasty. Try to read meticulously. Go to the last one. Without a powerful dose of fiscal stimulus, the economy stays in a slump or may lead to in the labor market, causing, say, a lasting increase in the unemployment rate. Whole context is negative, and we have all the negative words, but you have to decide which word goes where. Five, Sham says B. Without a powerful dose of fiscal stimulus, the economy stays mired in a slump, deeply rooted in a slump, or a brutal recession may lead to hysteria singular. Excuse me. Here, this is in the plural form, and hysteresis usually we use in the singular form. Two, in the labor market, causing, say, a lasting increase in the unemployment rate. Brutal recession, nothing wrong, perfect. Stays mired in a slump, nothing wrong. But they're not in the correct order. And imagine you don't know whether you can use this word is right or wrong. You cannot go for one incorrect word. What is the reason? Already here, they're not in the correct position. Answer should be the, here you have to use the second word. Correct words, wrong order. Not that easy in my opinion. Listen to the explanation, instructions first. Here again you have a para-jumble, but look at the questions. First question, what is this about? Second question, how many pairs of related sentences are there? First, you have to tell the number of pairs and what they are, and what is the concluding sentence. Please, not easy in my opinion. Try to. I'm giving you time, not easy. Hysteresis is a different word altogether. Actually, it goes with science. Has anyone answered all the three? I'm giving you enough time because it's not easy. Questions are different. First one, what is this about? What is the answer? It is about destination weddings or only weddings. Only it is about weddings, not about destination weddings. It is about weddings. In normal times, weddings are big business. First one is over. Now you have to tell me how many pairs of related sentences are there and what are they. First, you have to tell the number. How many pairs can you identify? Then you have to tell which two sentences form a pair. If you say two pairs, you have to tell those two pairs. If you say three, you have to tell all the three. Not four pairs. There are two pairs. How many pairs? Two pairs. What are the two pairs? Here, each wedding feeds a constellation of businesses from caterers and photographers to florists and entertainers. International destination weddings as well as stag and hen parties are a boon to the travel industry. AE one pair talks about each wedding, and here it talks about international destination weddings. They too form a pair. What is the other pair? Those in the wedding business often boast that it is recession proof. People will always want to celebrate getting married, but it is not pandemic proof. So, what is the second pair here? DC second pair. Has anyone got these? AE one pair and DC one pair. What is the last sentence? Try to get the correct order. See here, B is the first one. In normal times, weddings are big business. Worldwide, the industry is estimated to be worth 300 US billion dollars a year. Then it talks about what happens each wedding. How can it be a big industry? Each wedding feeds. Then you have international destination weddings related information. And those in the wedding business often boast that it is recession proof. People will always want to celebrate getting married, D is the next one, but it is not pandemic proof. So what is the answer here? The last one. C is the last one. BAEDC. That is right. C is the last one. How do you identify the pairs? Here it talks about each wedding. To substantiate the statement, it's a big industry. Then it talks about international weddings, local, international. They form a pair. That is the last slide, I suppose. Uh, that's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. I will see you tomorrow. And if you want to watch that video essay writing, please go to Murthy's IAS channel. There you find the video.